Before we get started, I want to give you some insight on where we're going this morning. Quick question. How many of you have ever heard of a man by the name of Thomas Kuhn? Anybody ever heard of him? His name is Thomas Kuhn. He wrote a book, I think it was 1962. She's kind of talking about differing paradigms and how a different perspective and focus will cause a whole paradigm to shift and how that will change perspective and everything. And we're not talking about perspective this morning, but the things that he talked about are going to be kind of use to us in what we are talking about. He started by, well, let me put it this way. He showed a picture. Some of you, I'm going to put up here in a minute, may be familiar with it. You've seen it on the internet or somewhere. He showed a picture of a duck for everyone to look at and said, hey, this is a nice picture. I think it was an actual mallard. I don't know anything about ducks. Some of you hunters may know more than me. But he said, here's a picture of a duck. His point was that if we change our perspective or our focal point, we'll see a rabbit. Right? How many see the duck? Okay. How many see the rabbit? Okay, everyone, no one's left out. I'm here just raising their hands, but don't see it because someone will be like, okay, yeah, there you go. It's okay though. His point was that if we change our perspective without the picture changing, but with our focal point changing, or our perspective changing, or information changing, because some people saw a duck and they didn't see anything else until someone mentioned, oh, a rabbit, and they're like, oh yeah, I could see that too. So his thing was that when we get more information or a different focal point, it sometimes can change our perspective or our outlook without the picture changing. Now let me give you another example that some of you may be more familiar with. Some of you have seen this stool, and it's what I use to keep my Bible on. Has anyone seen this up here? Okay, all right. Now for me, it's not so much a stool or a bar stool or a piece of furniture, and if you can't see it, there's a picture of it up here. It's more of a tool. I use it just to set my Bible on. I don't use it as a bar stool. Don't sit on it or anything like that. It's just to put my Bible on. Because it's a big Bible, takes up a lot of space. It's got 4 versions in it, so putting it up here doesn't work for me. As a matter of fact, when I went looking for something, I went looking for a stool, because they're sturdy, to put my Bible on. And when I saw this one on Craigslist a couple of years ago, I drove out to Shadyside to go get it. Because I was like, hey, this looks really cool. I want this particular stool. Not, again, to sit on. It's not furniture to me, it's just a tool. Side note, paid $2 for it. Spent more in gas to go get it than I actually paid for it. Another side note, and I kid you not, this is the truth. The guy that sold it to me, when he opened the door, the shirt he had on had all these same colors in the shirt. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if he put it on special, but in any case. So, again, for me, just a tool. Don't care about it as a piece of furniture. For most people, what is a bar stool? It's a piece of furniture you sit on and do stuff. So, different perspectives. For Christy, it is not a tool. It is not a bar stool. It is just a very ugly piece of furniture. As a matter of fact, there's not a whole lot of time that goes by where we don't come up, this doesn't come up in discussion. And I think at one point, she said, how many of you guys have seen the show Hoarders? Anyone seen that? She said there are hoarders that would not take this. Because it is so ugly. And she keeps waiting for me to throw it out. But, again, different perspective. For me, it's a tool. For most people, it's a piece of furniture. For most of you now, like Christy, it's an ugly piece of furniture that needs to be thrown out. But again, just different perspective. Stool hasn't changed. It's just the information we have and the perspective that we have that kind of changes our focal point on what we see it as. Does that make sense? Now, here's the thing. Where we're going this morning, the same is true of when we talk about hell, the topic of hell, which is what we're talking about this morning. And people inside the church and outside of the church all have a perspective on what hell is. Where most people, they say that, yeah, hell exists. They say that there is some place, I don't know how it exists, I don't know what's there, I don't know the full details about it, but they say there is a place called hell that does exist. Right? Now, for some people, they say, you know what? It's not a real place. It's either it doesn't exist at all, or if it does exist, it's just some spiritual tool that the Bible was using to kind of warn people about the hazards of not acting in a certain way. You know, they don't believe that it is a real place. Now, there are some people that kind of go in between and they say, yes, it's real, but it's this temporary place. In other words, it's kind of like the doctor's waiting room before you get in to see the doctor. Or if you go to surgery, you have to sit in this place and kind of wait while they do prep work on you before you go to the final place. And so they say that it's a temporary place. But here's the other thing. There are some people that say that, you know what? If it does exist, don't know if it does exist, but if it does exist, I just cannot believe that a good God would send people to this place called hell.